everyone, my name is Janie, I'm a mother of one and our family is moving to Norway. Today I'm going to tell you all about our situation, why it might appear complex and why we're going ahead anyway. So, before we start, don't forget to hit the thumbs up if you like what you hear. Also, I'll be releasing a lot of content on immigration, relocation, settling in Norway. So if you don't want to miss out on that content, also hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Otherwise, let's get to it. So in the Welcome to the Tribe video, I mentioned that our situation might be somewhat complex, and that's essentially what I'm going to talk to you about today. There are three parts to this. My partner, my child, our child, and myself all have increasing complexity when it comes to the permits and the visas. A little heads up, I'm not going to go into the detail on the visas and permits today. I had that in another video. Today is essentially just to tell you this is our situation, this is the basis, and that's essentially what we're working with going forward. So, to introduce you to the three scenarios, my partner, he has the most straightforward situation on his hands essentially. He has a job in Norway, he has the contract that he signed, he's gonna go for a work permit. And that's it. That's all he needs, that's all he's gonna do. Off he goes. So that's it. The complexity starts with our child. Now our child has three nationalities, Mexican, British and Czech, so a healthy option. So she can move to Norway more or less easily, you could say, as one of our dependents because she's a minor. We have made a decision for her to go as my partner's dependent for two reasons. One being that he has the money for it essentially. The job in Norway is going to pay him well above the limit that's required for a job permit or work permit applicant to have if he moves with a dependent. Two, my situation is not stable enough for her to move as my dependent. And there doesn't really need to be said more than that at the moment. So her situation is a little bit more complex. She needs to go through the application process as well as my partner's dependent, but it's pretty straightforward as well. The complexity bomb went off in my case. I'm the troublemaker. In the Welcome to the Tribe video, I do mention that my job situation is currently complicated. On December 30th, 2022, my boss told me that as of April 1st, I may not have a job. Simply because the client that we had and the contract I was solely dedicated to, they have ended it effective of 1st of April. And that's fine, you know. Everybody's allowed to do what they want with their business, but it essentially means that I could be without a job unless I manage to keep the work with my current employer in some capacity. However, what this means for me is three things. One, I moved to Norway as a EU national and a job seeker. I stay in Norway for 6 months and then I leave and come back eventually as a job seeker again to look for a job again for another chunk of 6 months. It's workable. Or I go on a family immigration like my child and become my partner's dependent. Entirely possible, but it comes with a price tag on an already big bill that this relocation is going to cost us. Not ideal. Or if I get lucky and I get to keep my job in one way or another, I get to go as an EU national on my own funds. That means, however, that I will have access to healthcare, but I have to pay everything out of my own pocket. I cannot access state-funded healthcare, which would then put strain on my finances. So you can see there are various degrees of stability I have with my scenarios, and that's where the complexity is. How can I assure that I can go with my family? And I am going with my family because I am not leaving them behind and they're not leaving me behind. And we've already signed the contract anyway. So that's our situation and that's the basis of which we're working. So you might be asking, why are you going ahead? if you don't know if you can go, or if your situation in Norway is not as stable, why are you going? Why you put your family through such a risk? Well, it's a risk and reward sort of situation, isn't it? Life in Norway, as far as we can see, is going to be more sustainable and potentially better long term. Don't get me wrong, the life we have here in the UK is good. We have a nice place that we live in, roof over our head, heating on, which not many people currently in UK have. And my heart goes out to every single person in that situation. But even for us, long term, energy bills increasing, food costs increasing, living costs essentially are going up. Long term, that's not sustainable. With the rate that wages are going up, which is not much, it's just not doable. Norway, on the other hand, it's a socialist country, comes with its pros and cons, but the pros that we like, or we like what we see, is that the country seems to take care of its people. The childcare in Norway is essentially peanuts, meaning our child can go to daycare and be sociable, learn those skills, meet friends and stuff. I can dedicate more time to my work. My partner can dedicate time to his work. The state takes care of its people by state-funded healthcare, and it's similar in UK. But the quality, again, I guess we'll see when we get there. However, long term, because we also want to have more children, is more sustainable. And that's why we're making that move. The risk of my unstable situation is slower than the reward we're potentially getting when we go to Norway. Now, don't get me wrong. It may go pear-shaped, and a year down the line, 5 years down the line, we'll figure out that Norway actually isn't all that great. We don't actually all that like being there. That's fine. People can change that decision, and we have a plan B. We know what we're going to fall back on. But either way, before I get too political, this is our situation. This is what we're currently working with. And hopefully in my next video, I will have more clarity to give you an update on, to pretty much tell you what's going on with me. Because in my next video, like I said, it's going to be all about visas, permits, and whatever shape I'm going to Norway. But for now, that is it. And I hope it gave you something. Maybe it's similar to your situation. If not, let me know in the comments, share, let's talk about this, because it can feel isolating. It can feel like you're the only person in this situation and there's nobody else out there, or you don't know who else is out there. Let us know. You know, you're not alone. Never. But for now, if you did like what you heard or didn't, hit the thumbs up or the thumbs down. Like I said, I'll be releasing a lot of content on immigration, relocation and settling in Norway. So don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out. Otherwise, I'll see you in my next one.